Hey, third grade, it's your friendly neighborhood third grade teacher, Mrs. Smith, here for today's lesson. All right, let me tell you, class, I am so pleased with the way that you are working hard to get this long division down, and your efforts are paying off. I know some of you are saying, "I got them all right, Mrs. Smith," or maybe I got a couple right. I mean, a couple wrong, but most of it right. That's really good. And even if you're not there yet, don't forget, we meet every day, well, not every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Google Meets. And there's small groups, and even if you're not on that list, if you would like to come in, maybe get some questions answered on that day's assignment, please do, because that's what I'm here for, to answer your questions. All right, well, let's go ahead and get down to the lesson. Speaking of which, that big hamburger, oh my goodness, you might be asking, Mrs. Smith, where was it? I ate it. It was really good. It was so good, so delicious. I couldn't help myself, but I made another one. All right, now remember, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers rare? That's in this is going to help us to remember the steps to long division. Okay, and I made a smaller one. That way, if I get hungry, at least I won't eat a whole Big Mac. I can just eat a regular size one. All right, so does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers rare? The first letter in each word in that sentence helps us to remember the steps. The first step in long division is to divide. You're going to start with the first digit in your dividend to see if your divisor can go into it. You're either going to look for a basic fact, or you may estimate to find something that's close without going over. After you divide, the next step is to excuse me, not that one. You're going to multiply. You're going to multiply the number that you put in the quotient. Okay, that's on top of the house. Multiply that number times the divisor. After you do that, you're going to subtract. After subtracting, you're going to compare. You're comparing the difference, or that's the answer that you just got when you subtracted. You're comparing that number with the divisor. The number that you got as the answer from subtracting, it should always be smaller than your divisor. As long as it's smaller, you're good to go to the next step, which is to bring it down. You're bringing down the next number in the quotient. And then depending on that, you may either repeat, okay, if the number that you brought down is larger than your divisor. But if there's nothing to bring down, then you're going to have a remainder. And the remainder is really what this lesson is going to be about. And then one more step. I'm really excited about the next step. All right, so let's go ahead and get down to work. All right, I'm on page 189. You should have your packet out. And we're starting with our math mystery. It says a polar bear's main source of food is seal blubber. Yum, yum. Blubber is the layer of fat under a seal's skin. It says 4 polar bears have 75 kilograms of seal blubber to share among them. How many kilograms of blubber will each bear eat if it is divided evenly among them? All right, you know what I'm going to do. We're going to go through the steps for our math mystery. First thing is to identify the question. They're asking us how many kilograms of blubber will each bear eat if it's divided evenly among them, because that's what we're trying to figure out. How much blubber does everybody get to eat? What information is important? Well, you need to know that there's 75 kilograms of blubber and that there are 4 polar bears, okay, and they're all supposed to share evenly. So how would you go about it? Would you add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Now, I'm not going to say it, because I know you see the answer in your book. But why are we dividing? We're dividing because we're starting out with a whole 75 kilograms of blubber. We're starting out with all of that, and they're asking us to separate it into 4 equal groups. Whenever you're separating something into smaller equal groups, that's division. Okay, so that's why we know we need to divide. Not because it shows it on the paper, but because of what they're asking us to do. All right, so I've written it up here, and I know they've given the steps down there. I'm just going to go ahead and run through them with you right now. All right, so the first step in a long division problem is to divide. Okay, starting with the 7, I asked myself, can I take out groups of 4 from 7? Or in other words, 7 divided by 4, what does that equal to? I'm either going to think of a basic fact or estimate. Well, there's no 4 multiplication fact that's equal to 7, so I'm going to estimate. 4 times 1 is 4, not that close, but 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 is too much, so I have to start with 1. 4 can go into 7 one time, so I've divided. That's my very first step. After I divide, the very next step is to multiply. I'm multiplying, oh, there we go, sorry. I'm multiplying 1 times 4, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, I'll write that down. Notice I'm putting it right underneath the 7 because that's the number that I just got finished dividing. All right, after I multiply, my next step is to subtract. All right, and 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, now that wasn't too bad. After I subtract, I compare. Again, I'm comparing the difference. That's what we call the answer when you subtract. I'm comparing the difference with my divisor. My difference has to be smaller. As long as it's smaller, I'm good. And 3 is less than 4, so we chose the right number. Okay, after I compare, the next step, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? B, I bring down the next number in my dividend. Here, the number is 5. That's the next number, so I pull it down. Again, I like to draw the arrow because that helps me keep all of my numbers organized and makes it less likely for me to make a mistake. It's a good practice to do if you don't already. So I bring my 5 down. All right, so now that I brought it down, the next step is after I bring it down, I either R, repeat, or I might have a remainder. Well, here I'm going to repeat because I have the number 35. I most definitely can take a group of 4 out of 35. So again, I think of a basic fact or either I estimate. Well, thinking of my multiples of 4, I can't multiply 4 times something and get 35. So I'm going to estimate. 4 times 8 is 32. That's really close. Let me go one more. 4 times 9 is 36. That's more than I can have because it's 35. So I'm using 8. All right, notice again where I'm placing the 8. The 8 goes right above the 5 that I brought down. Now, after I divide, again, my next step is to multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. I write my 32 right here, and after I multiply, I subtract. And let's do it. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. All right, after I subtract, I'm supposed to compare. Is 3 less than 4? Yes, so we got the right number again. All right, so after I compare, I bring down the next number. But if I look in my dividend, there is no number to bring down, so I'm not going to repeat, but 3 is my remainder. All right, so here on the top, and I know we did this, I think maybe the first lesson or so. On the top, I'm going to write R. This R stands for remainder, and I'm going to put a 3 up here, okay? Now, so what this tells us is that the polar bears are each going to get 18 kilograms. That's what kg stands for, kilograms of blubber. Yum, yum. Good eats. Okay. So 18 kilograms of blubber each, and there's going to be 3 kilograms left over. All right, so you're looking at your book and say, yeah, that's what it says, Mrs. Smith. But did you notice there's also a way to check? Now, you probably didn't realize you already knew how to check because we know if I say up, you say down. I say left, you say right. I say boy, you say girl. I say add, you say subtract. And if I say divide, you're going to say multiply. They're opposites. And because they're opposites, if I want to check a division problem, I would do the opposite operation, which is multiply. All right, so we're going to work on that today. Now, to check this problem, okay, my answer was 18 with a remainder of 3. To check, I'm going to multiply 18 times 4. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and multiply. All right, now you call out the answers. I'm going to be listening. All right, what is 4 times 8? It's 32. I write my 2, and I bring my 3 up here. Because remember, in the number 32, that's 2 ones and 3 tens. That's why I have my 3 up there in the tens column. And now I multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 3 is 7. I said, Mrs. Smith, okay, I don't see any familiar numbers, but I'm not done yet. Whenever you have a remainder, you're going to add that on. So I have the remainder of 3. So I'm going to add 3 right here. All right, so 2 plus 3 is 5, and then 7 plus 0 is 7. And do you see what I see? Look at that. The numbers match. So I'm going to do it. Nailed it. I love doing that. That's one of the exciting parts of math that I like is that a lot of math problems you can check to know if you got the answer right. And with long division, you can do that. So, I mean, I will still put the answers on there for you to check your work. But if you decided, oh, I'm going to check it myself, Mrs. Smith, you can check it and you can know if you got it right. And let me tell you, when it comes out right, there is a sense of satisfaction. Like nothing else. It gets me excited. All right, so here's our division, and this is how we check it. We multiply the quotient or the answer times the divisor. Okay, 18 times 4, which is what I have right here. I got 72, and then if you have a remainder, you just add that on. Okay. All right, for numbers 1 through 4, they're asking you to circle the remainder, and then they want you to write the complete quotient. They're wanting you to learn how to recognize that remainder and make sure you put it on the answer. Okay, so this won't take very long. All right, for number 1, it was 43 divided by 5. I'm just going to go through the steps just for good measure. All right, so to begin, you would divide. 5 goes into 4. No times. Yeah, you can't multiply 5 times anything and get 4. That's why you don't have a number up here. They had to use 43. Okay, now thinking of my 5 multiplication facts, I don't have anything that's equal to 43, so I had to estimate. 5 can go into 43 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. After I multiply, I subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3, and 4 minus 4 is 0. All right, so I have 3 left over. This is my remainder, so I'm circling that. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put it up here just so I can get in the habit of writing it up at the top. But they have blanks on your paper, so we'll go ahead and write in the blank. So my answer is 8 with a remainder of 3. Okay? All right, for number 2, it's 98 divided by 8. Again, I start with the first digit. Can I take a group of 8 out of 9? Well, sure I can. I can take one group out. So I've divided. 9 divided by 8 is 1. After you divide, you multiply. 1 times 8 is 8. After you multiply, you subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. I compare. 1 is less than 8, so I'm in good shape. So I bring down the next number. And now I repeat. Okay? 18 divided by 8. 18 divided by 8 was 2, because 2 times 8 is 16. After I multiply, I subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. Next, after I do that, I compare. Is 2 less than 8? Well, of course it is. So I would bring down the next number, but I don't have a number there. So I just simply have a remainder. So I'm going to circle it just like my directions said. And again, I'm going to put my 2 up here. Okay. All right, because that's what you'll be doing when you do your lesson in just a moment again. And then in the blank, let's go ahead and write it out all together. So my answer is 12 with a remainder of 2. All right, let's look at the next one. It's 82 divided by 6, beginning with the first digit. 8 divided by 6? Yeah, 6 can go into 8 one time. Okay, now that I've divided, I'm going to multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. And after I multiply, I subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. We're going to compare. Is 2 less than 6? Well, of course it is. So I'm in good shape. So I'm going to bring down the next number, which is the 2. So now I repeat. I start all over again. I have 22 divided by 6. Well, 6 can go into 22 about 3 times. And now after I've divided, I multiply. 3 times 8 is 16. And now I'm going to subtract. Now this isn't 2 minus 8. I had to regroup. So let me go ahead and write that out. I had to take one of my groups of 10. So now I have one group instead of 2. I bring that group of 10 over here and add it in the ones place. I already had 2. So now I have 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So 4, is it less than 6? Yeah, it is. So the next step would be to bring down the next digit in my dividend, but there is not another number to bring down. So 4 is just simply my remainder. Okay, circle it. Then up here, remainder 4. Okay, and I'm going to write it in the blank as well. So it's 13 with a remainder of 4. All right, and then one more. I have 59 divided by 2. Okay, starting with that first digit, can I take groups of 2 out of 5? Well, sure I can. I can take 2 of them. 2 times 2 is 4. After I multiply, I subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. I compare. Is 1 less than 2? Sure is, so I got the right number. After I've compared, I bring down the next number in my dividend, which is the 9. That's why I have that arrow there. All right, so now I have 19, and I repeat, start all over again. 19 divided by 2. Well, 2 can go into 19 about 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. After I multiply, I subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So I compare. 1 is less than 2, so I'm good. There isn't any other numbers or any other digits in my dividend to bring down, so instead of repeating, 1 is just simply my remainder. Ooh, a little bitty one. Okay, and then I'm going to write this on the bottom as well. So my answer is 29 with a remainder of 1. All right, now just because I know it's not in the instructions, but I want to go ahead and check over a couple of them just to, because like I said, I get excited about it, just so we can practice how to check. So let's check number 1. All right, I'm going to put it right here. Okay, to check, remember we're going to do the opposite operation. So if I divide it to find the answer, to check I'm going to multiply. And I multiply my quotient, or the answer, times the divisor. All right, so my quotient is 8. My divisor is 5. Okay, 8 times 5 is 40, right? Oh, Mrs. Smith, it didn't turn out. Well, I'm not done yet because I had a remainder. So I add the remainder, plus 3. Okay, 40 is, 0 plus 3 is 3. And then 4 plus 0 is 4. And looky. All right, 43 right here. 43 right here. Ooh. We nailed it. Love it when that happens. Okay, let's do one more. All right, let's try, let's see, let's do the last one, okay? This one right here. Okay, all right, let's do this one right here. Okay, so we have 59 divided by 2, it ended up being 29 with a remainder of 1. To check it, I'm going to multiply my quotient, or the answer, times the divisor, and then I'll add my remainder. So it's 29 times 2. All right, okay. So let's multiply. First we multiply the 2 times a digit in the ones place. 2 times 9 is 18. All right, my 8. Bring my 1 over to the tens place because that 1 is one group of 10. And then I multiply the 2 times the digit in the tens place. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Okay, not done yet because I did have a remainder. I had a remainder of 1, so I'm going to add it. 8 plus 1 is 9, and then 5 plus 0 is 5. I have 59 here, 59 here. Nailed it! Love it when that happens, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do a couple, like I had already shared that I was going to do 2 more with you. All right, so let's do number 5 and number 6. All right, I think I'm going to use green. All right, so we have 38 divided by 3. Okay, so our steps, the very first one is to divide. Okay, I'm going to ask myself, can I take a group of 3 out of 3? Well, sure I can. I can take one group out of 3. After I divide, I multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. After you multiply, the next step is to subtract. Very good. And 3 minus 3 is 0. And I compare. Is 0 less than 3? Yes, it is. So I can go on to the next step. After I compare, my next is to bring down the next number. The next digit in my dividend is 8, so that's the next number I bring down. Okay. All right, and from there, I repeat. Okay, so I start all over again. So now it's 8 divided by 3. 8 divided by 3 is 2. Again, notice where I'm placing my numbers, I put the 2 right above the 8 that I just pulled down. After I divide, 2 times 3 is 6. After you multiply, you, a little louder, yeah, you subtract. Okay, 8 minus 6 is 2. After you subtract, you compare the difference with your divisor. 2 is less than 3, so I'm good. After I compare, I'm supposed to bring down the next digit in the dividend, but I don't have any digits to bring down. And so I can't repeat, so the 2 is just simply my remainder. Okay, so up here I'm going to write remainder 2. Is the answer correct? I don't know. I don't have my teacher's manual. I don't need it though because I can check it on my own. So let's do that. All right, to check it, I multiply the quotient or the answer times the divisor. Okay, because remember, if you divide it to check your work, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to multiply. All right, so down here I have 12 times 3. All right, now I know this is a multiplication factor. You should know off the top of your head, but we can just do it digit by digit. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. But I'm not done, because you might say, Mrs. Smith, that's not the same answer. Not done yet, because I have a remainder. And whenever you have a remainder, you just simply add. So I'm going to add the 2. Okay, adding them. All right, 6 plus 2 is 8. And then 3 plus 0 is 3. I have 38 here, and look in my dividend. It's 38. They match. We got it right, so we nailed it. I like the great big old check. Wow, like I said, gets me all excited. Okay, let's do the last one, and then I'm going to send you on to see how you're doing on your own. We have 42 divided by 8. All right, so the first step is to divide. I look at the first digit, and I have a 4. 4 divided by 8, can't do that. I can't multiply anything times 8. That's going to give me 4. So I'm going to include this next digit. Okay, so instead of dividing 4 by 8, I'm going to be dividing 42 by 8. All right, so basic fact, no basic fact, so I'm going to have to estimate. 8 times 5 is 40. Let me go one more. 8 times 6 is 48. That's too much. Okay, so I have to go back to the 5. Notice I'm putting the 5 right above the 2 because this is the number that I'm dividing into, 42. All right, very important. All right, after I divide, I multiply. 5 times 8 is 40. We know after we multiply, we subtract. All right, starting in the ones place, 2 minus 0 is 2. 4 minus 4 is 0. All right, after I subtract, I compare. Is 2 less than 8? Yes, it is. So after I compare, I bring it down, but when I look at my dividend, there isn't another number to bring down. So I'm not going to repeat. This is just simply my remainder. Okay. All right, so 42 divided by 8 is 5 with a remainder of 2. Is it correct? I don't know either. Let's check it. All right, so to check it, if we're dividing, to check we do the opposite operation. So we're going to multiply. 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. That's one of our basic facts. Not done yet because we had a remainder. The remainder that we have, we just simply add. Plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2, and 4 plus 0 is 4. And 42 is the dividend that I started with, so say it with me. Nailed it! Very big check. All right. So for your assignment, you're going to continue working on page 190, and I've asked you to go ahead and complete numbers 7 through 15. Those are all division problems as well as the review. Now, it just simply says to divide, but I challenge you to check 1 or 2 of them. If you check something and you get it right, please comment to me. Say, Mrs. Smith, I nailed it. All right, and I can celebrate with you. All right, so go ahead and complete numbers 7 through 15 and you might need to rewrite them. I don't know if it's enough space, but if not, go ahead and complete those and as well as the review. And then with the review, go ahead and submit those answers on the Google form. Okay, make sure to do that. Again, if you get stuck or you're doing it and you check your answers against the document that I'm putting in the assignment and it's not happening, I'll be working with the Google Meets group. Please plug in, join the group. You can ask a question. We'll get you some answers, okay? All right, but keep on working hard. I know I keep on saying it. I don't know how else to say it, but I am so proud of you guys. Oh my goodness, I just wish I could see it for myself. But keep working hard. And if you get stuck, that's okay. We can work it out together. Just let me know. All right, until then, keep working hard, third grade. Bye.